There's a lot of dangerous chemicals you have to be careful working with when you're working on maintenance, on the upkeep of these vessels. So we use this stuff, we called it a rusticator. So it's just this clear, odorless liquid, come in a little bottle, all in a foreign language, didn't know where it's from, but it did have skull and crossbones on the back. What would happen was you'd get these little tiny pieces of metal that would embed themselves into the paint on the superstructure, which was white. And then over time, they would rust. So this little chemical, this stuff that we were using, you just sprayed it on there, took your brush, worked it over there, and like magic, all the rust disappeared. Now, it didn't make all the metal disappear, just made all the rust stains disappear. And then in a couple, 3 or 4 weeks, you'd have to do it again. But it was amazing how well it worked. That's one thing to always consider. If a product works too damn good, it's probably not good for you. That weed killer, 2,4-D, amazing weed killer. Just so happened, it was amazing at killing people too. And then you start getting into all your benzene-based solutions, your thinners for cleaning your brushes, working with lacquers, anything with an ene in it, you have to be careful of, especially benzene derivative chemicals. We subjected ourselves to that all the time. And the general consensus in yachting, I think, at least it was then, it's like, man, don't be a baby, don't worry about it, don't complain, just do your job. And we didn't have material safety data sheets on, as you should, on all your chemicals. You were just handed something or like, this works good, use this. In the end, the owner doesn't care that much about the crew. If he has to replace the whole crew because they start dropping off like flies and getting sick and dying, then he just replaces the crew. We're all just cogs in the machine. That's the reality of it, especially in the super yacht world. It was about a month after the owner had left. He wasn't expected back in another month or so. And you just get burnt out. So I made my reservations. I talked to the captain. I was going to take a 2-week holiday, fly back home to Fort Lauderdale, and just rest and relax. And so that's what I did. Into my second week of vacation at home in Fort Lauderdale, a buddy of mine, another yacht captain, was just coming out of the shipyard, and I was helping him move his stuff back on board. So we had a couple of 6-packs of Red Stripes sitting on his porch, enjoying a cold beer. I wanted to pull into the mall to pick up something from the store, from I think the Radio Shack in there. And I'm walking in, I'm feeling a little dizzy, and I'm like, as soon as I walk in the mall, I'm heading straight for the restroom, going to splash some cold water on my face, and try to wake up a little bit and shake whatever this little gradua, a little chill that came on me. And I'm just feeling, every second I'm feeling more nauseous, more sick, more lightheaded. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go any further into the mall. The last thing I'm gonna do is faint in front of Radio Shack and have like 30 people stand over me making a scene. That's not gonna happen. I head back out to my car in the parking lot. I got a sweat going, I'm nauseous, I'm sick, I'm shaking. I don't know what's happening. So I turn the AC full crank and just kind of recline back in my car. So I've got this incredible burning pain in my stomach. I get sick, I throw up in the floorboard of my car. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know I feel like I'm coming down with the flu, like I'm getting a stroke. I mean, I'm a trained medical professional. I knew all the symptoms for a heart attack, for a stroke, for heat stroke, flu symptoms. I'm like, what's going on here? Felt like I was having everything all at once. Point out of the parking lot of the mall. I'm at the light, first one in line at the light. All of a sudden, this huge fog bank of whiteness just rolls in, and I'm blind. I can't see anything. I can hear the people honking their horns. I was just like, I just got to get out of these people's way and figure out what's going on with me. I pull over, I turn the wheel to the right, I pull through the hedges, I park the car, I put it in park, and I'm just like trying to compose myself. I'm trying to get I'm getting shallower and shallower. Every breath is a little bit shallower than the last. It feels like I'm going to die. I can't control anything. I can't stop what's happening. My whole system's shutting down. So I'm like, the only thing that I can control in this whole world is my last thought. That's it. If your system's shutting down, your heart's going to stop beating and your lungs are going to stop bringing in that next breath of air that you need to survive. And you know that you're getting ready to die. The only control that you have is over that very last thought. I calmed down. I relied on my martial arts training. All martial arts principles are basically founded on breathing, proper breathing, controlling your breathing. So I just kind of fell back on my training. I just calmed myself down. As soon as I calmed my breathing down, my vision came back. I don't know why. It just came back. All of a sudden I could see again. So I get home. My wife is there. I don't know, she's like, man, you look like shit. You know, you feeling okay? And I'm like, I felt better. I said, I think I'm coming down. I think I'm coming down with something, flu or something. I don't know. But, you know, I just need to lay down. If I just lay down for a little while, I'll be okay. And after a few minutes, I got really nauseous feeling again. And that pain almost doubled over, the pain in my stomach. I'm like, change my mind. I'll go. Let's go to the hospital. So as soon as I go to stand up, blacked out, collapsed. She called 911, had an ambulance come, pick me up, rush me to the local general hospital. And I came to just screaming at every obscenity. You know, I hear everybody, code blue, code blue. Everybody's rushing in on me. They're shooting me all up with everything. And then boom, I black out again. This happened 4 times. I coded, brought me back, shot me full of morphine, took me back out again. So anyway, they got their lab results back. He's reading it off to me. And he was telling me that I had what is called ALL, acute lymphocytic leukemia. And if I don't get treatment for it in the next 72 hours, I will probably succumb to the illness, he said. So all of a sudden, things went into hyperdrive, warp speed. My spleen was about to burst because it had stopped filtering the blood. My bone marrow was completely saturated with leukemic cells. I had been sick for a while. I had probably been sick, really sick for a couple of months. And that was the fatigue. That's one of the symptoms, the hard-hitting fatigue. I just thought I was working hard. I mean, I'm taking care of a 315-foot super yacht. You work all day. I just thought I was tired from that. So they decided to induce me into a coma for about 2 weeks. The medical consensus was, I was being treated with just barrels and barrels of chemo. And when I started trying to figure out how did I get leukemia, being exposed to certain chemicals, the benzene family of chemicals are very carcinogenic. So I'm thinking, was I exposed? Damn straight I was exposed. I was exposed on many occasions working on boats to chemicals. I should have had better PPE, better personal protective equipment. And the first thing I thought of was that a rusticator. I mean, that stuff was on your hands, it got on your skin. I mean, how bad was that stuff? And working on boats, working on yachts is just full of dangerous, toxic chemicals. I spent 60 days in that general hospital, slowly dying, until the nurse, the head nurse said, whispered to me, she said, "You've got to get out of here, or you're going to die here. You need to get to a cancer hospital." I had been exposed to a lot of serious chemicals working on board, and now I was paying for it. I transferred down to University of Miami, Sylvester Cancer Care Clinic at Jackson Memorial Hospital. I had a wonderful oncologist and basically did the whole bone marrow biopsy, see if I could get a match on the National Register, which please, I'll have a link at the bottom of this description. Thumbs up for the National Bone Marrow Registry. If you haven't and you have mind to, donate. Donate your bone marrow, see if you're a match. It could mean somebody's life. As it happened in my case, I couldn't find a match. I had no relatives, no siblings that were a match. And at this time, I think the bone marrow registry was only 10, 20, maybe 30,000 in the whole country. That's all the samples they had. So be a donor, save somebody's life. Again, I couldn't get a bone marrow transplant, so it's just chemo or adios. Senor, adios, Miguel. If the chemo doesn't save me, I'm going to die. So next year, I spent recuperating, clawing my way back through survival. All the love and respect and praise to all the medical professionals that worked on me, that saved me, that worked there at Jackson Memorial Health Systems, especially the cancer clinic at Sylvester. All the nurses were just wonderful. When you're a patient and you're dying, you can act like a shit a lot of the times. And you're tired, you're sick of dying, you're sick of being in pain, and you lash out at people. And they took it. Those nurses, those doctors, they took it every day. And the only thing they gave back was compassion and care and love. So I bow to you guys. You're the true heroes. Going into remission. I'm in remission. I've conquered the chemo. I'm taking it easy. I'm frail. I'm weak. I'm getting out of the house a little bit. I got my little fishing cart. I go down to the channel, the inlet there in Fort Lauderdale. I set up my big pole on the railing. I sit in my little lawn chair and I just watch the yachts and the boats. Because I'm thinking, that's it. That life is over for me. The only thing I can do is just sit back and watch it. I'm sitting there about half dozed. I got my fishing rod. All of a sudden, my pole bends in two, practically snaps. I jump up and grab it. Whoa! Pull back on it. Out on the end of my line jumps this 5 foot 6 foot silver tarpon. Just beautiful beast. Just jumps out, shimmering silver, tail walking across the water, trying to throw the hook. I'm running down the railing, trying to reel this thing in. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never caught a tarpon in my life. I was just out there to relax. I wasn't really fishing. I mean, yeah, I had a lure out there. I didn't mean to catch anything. But when I hooked this tarpon and I felt that fish's energy come through the fishing line, down the pole, and into my hands, it electrified me with life. It was the most amazing feeling in the world. Before that, I'm in remission. I'm recuperating. I'm taking maintenance doses of chemo. I still feel like shit. You still feel like crap. It's a long, long journey back to the way you were before. And so I was not dead, but I wasn't alive. But now, when I'm holding on to that fishing rod, I felt like I was alive, truly alive for the first time in the past year. And we started heading out, and I'm like, I got you, buddy, I got you. I'm reeling them in, setting the hook. That fish was gonna go run right through these old piers and then cut the line just like that. I'm running down the railing, holding the rod. Everybody's moving out of their way, so let me pass by. And I'm just like, I got him, oh my God. He's just jumping. Of course, he does exactly what I think he's gonna do. He heads straight for the piling, and 1001, 1002, the line's gone. But that was the best, the greatest experience I had had in so long. I felt that fish's energy come straight through that line, straight down the rod, straight into my hands, into my arms, into my heart. I changed from that. I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. I packed my stuff up, I threw it in the trunk, and I drove home, and there was a call on my answer machine from Palmer Johnson Yachts. I want to know if I was interested in transporting a brand new 87-foot Palmer Johnson Go Fast boat to the Med, south of France, Antibes, and do sea trials for the new owner. So they laid out the details. Well, this is a Hamilton jet, it's a type of a jet propulsion. I was like, sure, I'm very familiar, lied through my teeth. I just wanted a job. I wanted life. I wanted to grab life and not let go. And I was going to take anything. If they were offered a job to command the space shuttle, I would have been like, I'll do it. So I'm like, it's a boat. It's got an engine, got a generator, it's got a bow, it's got a stern. I'll figure it out, I'll take the job. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Fake it till you make it, right? That's how I got most of my jobs. I got a job. I was barely alive, straight out of the hospital. But that tarpon breathed a new life into me. And I was ready to take on my next adventure. And what an adventure it was. That vessel, that Palmer Johnson 87-foot Go Fast boat known as the Oci Ciornie, Black Eyes. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this episode, Limitless, episode 6. We're all just cogs in the machine.